Hi, good morning, everyone. Again, this is another Saturday, and thanks for giving me a chance to try to share our master teaching for the chapter 20. And as we all know that our master has set up her Taipei tour yesterday morning. And as master also say that she wants to seize her life and make the best out of it. And so at the same time, we also have to write and record our own daily activities with a good and make it meaningful content. So let us start for today, and we have a Dharma sharing. And again, as in a daily life, speaking seems very easy. But in fact, there are all kinds of unwholesome speech. Master say we are like the first is lying and fatally, tell-telling and speaking harshly. So we must be careful with our words, and we speed up and by using our organs, our mouth, and to speak. So it is very not easy to know how to speak, and we need to be mindful on our speech, especially when we want to deal with people, daily, communication. So if we want to guide other people, we must have some method, or we need to have a good direction, and so that we can give people a very good direction in a way when we want to encounter people who are having a problem, especially when we want to do Tzu Chi work as well. So now let us go to the second page, which is as I asking who is Neville's lighting, and actually he is the Bodhisattva, of course, we know that. But this is his real name. So master during the past few days for her master's, our master's teaching, and she said from the sutra text is saying that actually it's just kind of a nickname, and the name was given because when this Bodhisattva he bound to everyone he meet, especially for those who are with the arrogance, or which is like never take the Dharma for granted. They just want to maybe make some offering, get some offering from the disciples or the followers of the practitioner, of the lay practitioner. So and we go down further, and master say that actually the name was Lighting Bodhisattva. There was a Sakyamuni Buddha in a former life, and he was practicing the Bodhisattva path for the past even eons ago. And this Bodhisattva, he did not devote time to reading or reciting the scriptures, not just only in sit down and doing meditation or anything like just sit inside the building and not going out. No, but it simply went out to buying the people when he meet. And if he happened to see any of the four kinds of the believers, like those who mentioned as previous, the Bhishuni, Bhishu, or the Upasika or Upasaka, far off in the distance, he would purposely go to where they were and bow to them and speak words of praise and say, "I'm not there to slight you because you're going to be attend a Buddhahood in the future." So at the time when he meet those people, and the four assemblies where they saw this Bodhisattva came close to them, and they would sneer and ridicule him and say, "Hey, get a lot of him. His name was Lighting Bodhisattva." He always say to people, I don't dare to slight you because you will all become Buddhas." So even though the name was given to him and to make fun of him, but yet the name was Lighting Bodhisattva, he still accepted it. Yeah, I'm very into accept it. So, and now we go to next. And so we try to make it the four methods of the universal giving to express his name. What is mean for nameless lighting? And the first is like the mundane universal giving. Inwardly, the nameless lighting Bodhisattva, he emblems the attitude of never slighting anyone and the wisdom of never slighting anyone. So outwardly, he practiced the conduct of reverence and respectful and to everyone that he met in all circumstances he met. Yeah. And the second, the universal giving for the sake of others. He generally practiced the conduct of not slighting other people, and that was complete giving for the sake of others. Yeah. Totally, wu wo. And the third is like the universal giving as a cure. And with his mouth, he expounded the teaching of never slighting, and that was the cure for to prevent our arrogance or our pride for our own behavior. And the fourth is the universal giving for the sake of the primary principles. He always held an attitude of never slighting others. That was universal giving for the sake of the primary principles. So here are the four methods that we can try to know more about the name that were given this such a few different meaning. Yeah, and here also they are having a several important ramification for his practice. And the first, you can know that there's the integration of practice into daily life. And he walked out to the temple and to meet people. Yeah, he practicing in his life. Whenever he meet all those people, encounter the people who he meet and came across to him with a lot of obstacles as well. And the second is the direction that he received from those whom he prophesied to be Buddhas. So now we see there's very interesting to note that they are not only those Bodhisattva never slighting tell this to mirror by standards who to everyone, but he tried to seek out those that he believed are on the Bodhisattva path and proclaim that they are inevitable Buddhahood. So there must have a reason why he specified to speak to the people where he meet. Yeah, and from master teaching we know that in the sutra text is also mentioned, and the people who get the proclamation from this Buddha saying that in the future you're going to be attend the enlightened Buddhahood, but they are not believe it because they thought the speed up from this Bodhisattva say I don't need you give us such a false prediction. Yeah, and this is like we say that the swan in the nursery tale in the 儿童故事 they do not think that they are worthy for such a gift. Instead of choosing to believe that they are merely unworthy, ugly ducklings. So they never they don't have a confidence that believe that in the future or they already actually in possesses the natural Buddha intrinsic Buddha nature. They don't believe they have their own in personal. So these four kinds of believers they not accept what the Bodhisattva proclamation because they only think that only a Buddha can prophesy the coming of any future Buddhas, and in the term to abuse him is because he does not have the authority to make such prophecies. Yeah. So this is what the four assemblies who were thinking at the time. So this is when nearly go to the end of the chapter 20 in the sutra text, and saying that when the Bodhisattva his life was coming to the end, 临命终时 and in the space that he heard the verses, a lot of more than thousands of the verses of the Dharma Lotus Sutra, which is previously spoken by the Buddha, King of Awesome Self, which is very familiar teaching came back to him right in the sky, and he immediately obtained the purity of the six senses, and his lifespan was further increased. Yeah, and he extensively spoke the Dharma Lotus Sutra for others without any obstacles. It's just preaching. Yeah, and And okay, so for Master say that for 1,000 years of those four assemblies who suffer great torment because they are, insult or they are, reviled the Bodhisattva, which is they're going to have, we say, in Guobao, they have to go through the causes and conditions where they create a great karma during the time when they're slighting the Bodhisattva. So they must get some punishment. So after they have received complete their punishment for even eons past time, and they will get a chance to encounter this never-failing Bodhisattva who have, always say, you're going to be a Buddha future. So this is already plant a good seed in their heart. So after their all bad karma has been diminished or is it's already complete, so they're going to have a good affinity and to listen the Lotus Sutra again. So and Sakyamuni Buddha asked the Bodhisattva great sage, 大势至, and say, what do you think? At the time, could the four assemblies who constantly slight the Bodhisattva have been anyone else in the time when the Sakyamuni Buddha was giving us the Lotus Sutra teaching on that time? And here is the answer that the Buddha said. Those are those Bodhisattva who are now in this assembly, in this Vulture Peak, who listen to my teaching to expound the Lotus Sutra right now. And those people who are already attend the Anuttara Samya Sampoti there. And this is what the Buddha say, and of course they're going to saying that this people who are in the past, they are very what you say is like they are insult, yeah, and what is like those people, those are four assemblies, and in the past they were insult or curse or beat the never slighting Bodhisattva in the past. And how could they very soon to turn into a very good person and to listen to the Dharma? So here I just like to share a little bit of a story regarding what I heard from masters mentioned before. This is slightly similarly to this station. And here they are saying there was one time when the Buddha led his disciple to the kingdoms. Here is saying, there was one time when the Buddha led his disciple to the kingdom next of Magadha. And the people there are not well educated. They often quarrel and fight, and they also lack discipline and manners. So Buddha hoped to guide the people there. And when Buddha talked to the disciple, and one of the disciples who are full of confidence, which is a Maya Gacchajana, 目犍连见者 Maya Gacchajana, say to the Buddha, say, I can go and guide the people there. 目犍连说我要去引导他们哦。So when the Yajana arrived to the kingdom, and he saw a man carrying a hen and a woman chasing him after with a chicken knife. I mean, 这个男人就是偷了人家的母鸡。So he also saw the young men who are the two young men who are fighting. So the Bodhisattva, the Mujenen, who have gentle and manners with a smiling face, everyone was so curious that they never see this kind of people before. And Margajanana greet everyone and start to telling them how rude they were. So he also pointed out that what they had did wrong. upon hearing this, those people who are started to live gradually, and some even come near and push him, and saying that this is the way of our life， 我们就是这样生活的，所以他们就不相信目犍连所讲的法。So what's wrong? They ask him, and they are forced the Mahayana out of the kingdom. 他们就是把目犍连卷走，就是远离。So he returned to the Buddha, and then the Sariputra say to the Buddha, 舍利弗就说 I can go， 我可以去哈。So the Sariputra set up for the kingdom. So after he arrived, the same view happened again, and Sariputra shared with everyone and saying, due to your manners, life is difficult. You need to change, and so on and so on, and keep saying some, words that to them it is the same condition. Sariputra was forced to live too. And when the Buddha saw there's a few disciples who are failed to guide these people in this kingdom, and finally the Buddha said to his disciples, I think this is time for Manjushri Bodhisattva to go. 文殊师利菩萨这时候应该是要让他去了，佛陀就让文殊师利菩萨去。So clearing the mission, the Manjushri Bodhisattva went to the kingdom, and he saw a man fishing. So the Manjushri Bodhisattva told this man, say, you have great fishing skill. And seeing hunter shooting an arrow, 就是射箭的人。Manjushri Sariputra Bodhisattva also say, he also praised him, say you have a good skill as well. So whoever he meet, and regardless of what people were doing, good or bad, Manjushri Bodhisattva keep praising to them. So, and at the last, when Manjushri Bodhisattva went to see the king and praised him as well, and say, your kingdom is strong and powerful. He just try to say everything the best words he can. And the people all are very hardworking, being wise and capable, and saying to the king, say that you govern your kingdom very well. So the king was full of joy to hear what Manjushri Bodhisattva speak. And the people who willing to gather to hear Manjushri's talking. So, and of course, finally, Manjushri Bodhisattva successful to guide those people who are stubborn or, and try to do a lot of bad evils did before. And because he's sharing and in some other country what they do and it's good and it's something, so they're willing to listen. So back to the real reality, and actually it's like we want to form a good affinity with others before we can speak the good words, otherwise no one will listen to you. So masters it's just like this one. So how to guide the living beings who seem hard-headed and difficult to tame? So Buddha say, before attaining the Buddhahood, we should build good affinities with people, and without having formed good affinity with others, no one will take in your words in your future life. I think this is the same. This is what been expounded by our master before. This is I get it from my note. Yeah. So the last but not least, I would like to say, master always believed that everyone has an innate Buddha nature. But with what mindset should we walk the Bodhisattva path? Is it we walk on conscientiously, 很认真的走菩萨道 or we casually 只是很随便的随常的 or half-heartedly 就是没有很用心的 or sporadically. Yeah. So it all depends on how we walk on this path and what we want to attain for our own wisdom. So and here I think I found the answer for the question that last 2 days, which I get from Sister Xiaojing. because still have some time, and very happy that we have 4 masters here. And yesterday we have a very short discussion about some questions. So we might not able to answer all, but we try to answer 4, 5 questions. And so I think for the question, so we can show the question now. Yeah. Can you see the question number 8? And it's asking, in the first of the earlier chapter, Buddha said we should avoid female or people that has potential to defend the Dharma. In this chapter, the never sliding Bodhisattva.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm going to answer the question number 8. Okay, question number 8. So it's asking, how did we tackle the defamation issue for this question? Actually, I think it's just like Master say, when we came across or encounter this kind of situation, and who defend the Dharma, or are we still, how can we deal with this kind of people, and what can we do? And I think in this morning, Masters already give us the answer, and Masters say we must patiently remain at ease, at peace, and unwavering, 安住不动. So for our heart. And furthermore, we must to forgive these people, and we must to embrace an expansive, broad heart, 开阔心胸 to accept it. And only this, we can form the affinity with them, and maybe they were willing to listen, because we already formed a good seed by our own behavior, which is we conduct facing them. So here, I would just want to say, if we are not in conflict with others, and everything will be safe. 就是以人无争，就人安. So we don't need to do any conflict, or we don't want to fight for anything. So if we not fight over matters, everything will go smooth. 以事无争则事安. And if we are here to life truth, our life will be at peace. So this is what I'm trying to give the answer for this question number 8. And also I would like to answer another question, which is the number 3. After involved in Tzu Chi work, don't feel like going back to real work, less interest in working life, and feel like want to fully involve in volunteering work. However, actually financial doesn't allow. How to adjust ourselves in this situation? I would like to say that if you are really want to be a full-time volunteer in Tzu Chi communities or in the Tzu Chi activities, I think the best way is for you to pass your resume and to our HR department, and so that you can be our staff, and one of the staff who are working in our any 4 of the Tzu Chi missions, and you can get your living. You can earn your living by working in Tzu Chi organization in our department, 只知合一, Or if you think that there's not enough for you to earn money in our Tzu Chi organization, you still can work your own job, but you try to make your working place like a Tzu Chi community. So you try to influence or inspire your colleagues who haven't know about Tzu Chi. You can, invite them to join our Tzu Chi activities, and to try to make your working place is like a small Tzu Chi community center, so that you can have a better harmony environment in your working place. So this is the answer for what I can, try to give. Maybe not the best. And now I will pass the rest of the question to a few of our master. They're going to answer. So and first, I think is it for our master here who's going to give the first question for the answer 1. 就是回答问题就好，不要意思，就是那个。我第一个，中文没关系的哈，就不用一直在问题就好，不一定要看。我就回答一个，要不然再往前面。第一个啊，对了 ，OK。Good
morning, everybody. 亲爱的师兄师姐，大家早上好。我想要回答第一个问题，就是那个其实上人说，人之初性本善，性相近，习相远，苟不教，性乃迁。人的观念如果错误，行为就会造成偏差，也会造成社会的不安。那人心的向善是安定社会的一股力量，是祥和人间的一股清流。那现在正是善恶在拔河的时代，那请问哪一边会赢呢？上人说，人多的地方，人多的一边会赢，所以我们应该教育下一代，要有正确的观念。那上人告诉我们说，人生无常，行善行孝不能等，这样我们的家庭才能够幸福，社会才能够祥和。所以我们应该把自己的心给照顾好，不仅不能够同流合污，我们还要出淤泥而不染，像莲花一样，这样我们的心才能够清净，也才能够心安。那如果我们有能力，我们还能够自度度人，自利利他，从而感化他人，像上人一样，他就是以善以爱，用慈悲喜舍的心来教化无明的众生，能够去除贪嗔痴慢疑的烦恼。如果能够去除这一些烦恼，我们才能够得到真正的快乐。上人也教导我们，青山无所争，福田用心耕。与人无争，像黄师傅今天早上所分享的，与人无争则人安，与事无争则事安，与事无争则事安。那以刚克刚，两败俱伤。我们要以柔克刚，才能毫无损伤。上人说，我们应该创造一个好的环境给下一代，教导他们要明辨是非，对人也要心宽念纯，不要计较，然后要为人群能够多付出，广结善缘。那这样子，广结善缘，上人也告诉我们说，有缘讲话是真理，无缘讲话是是非。如果我们能够跟别人结一份的好缘，这样我们所讲的话，他们就能够接受，一起来行善。像我们慈济的学生，慈科大慈济大学的孩子毕业出去之后，到各个场合，各个的职场去工作，都非常受到欢迎，因为他们的心中有爱，对人不计较，愿意与人合群，也很得到上司的赏识，同事的友爱，这样大家相处起来就会很和乐，工作也会很顺利。所以不用担心我们的孩子把他教乖了，出去没有办法跟人家竞争。其实我们不与人争，我们希望，然后上人说在我们就是不管是大家的相处，不要有霸气，应该要有和气。对，那这样子的话，我相信我们的生活才能够过得幸福快乐，也大家才能够安心的生活。这是我一点小小的分享，感恩。好，来换谁？
我刚才回答那个，我不小心回答到的问题。
你不是说那个？
是公子，哎，那个。对啊。
Good morning, everyone. Okay, wait, which is my question?
就是这个再下一个，这个是吗？这个。
Okay. So in this question, we was asking, recently Master spoke of great urgency of worldly disaster, all more dead liar frequent. How can human help to mitigate? Is praying truly can help? Of course, praying is part of because in prayer, we are gather everyone together, and then with this kind of strength, we can also achieve the mission. But the important thing is, Master always tell us, 共知共事共行. That is importantly after we understand all the things, we have put in the consciousness, but the important thing is to put it into action, practice it. What is that? That is to go for vegetarian. Okay, if everyone have to go for vegetarian, this is very important, because in terms of a lot of research is also saying that this is very important as well. The other one is the recycling activity as well. This is very important, and also to live simpler life. That's why in fact every time when you come back to the abode, and then you can feel that the life over here is very simple. We do not have any air conditioning or any warmer machine or washing machine. We all do the work with our hand itself. Okay, so this I'm not too sure whether this this answer is helping or not. Okay, but I hope that everyone really can understand our master teaching and then also go for vegetarian. It's very important. Okay. 还有呢？看。
第二个，因为他们要分享。
啊 ，OK，
知道了，我们就留下一次。
好。
So I think we'll pass it to Sister Xiaojing, as we know that Sister Stephanie going to give us a very touching her own personal story. Yeah.
感恩黄师傅、杰师傅 and 袁师傅 very insightful. 感恩。Oh yeah, today we have touching stories by Sister Stephanie. Over to Sister Stephanie. 感恩。
Already. Thank you very much, Kan En, Sister Cheng. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Amitabha and a very good morning to Abode Masters, Hualien Dharma team, and all brothers and sisters. I'm really thankful for Sister Xiaojing for this opportunity to share again on this platform. And today I'm happy to share about an area which we seldom mention. It is about the silent mentor. Sorry for what, I just need to on my PPT. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, my sharing today is about silent mentor. But before I start, let me just recall a movie that I saw with my children in 2015. It's this movie, Cinderella. I don't know if any one of you have seen it. Something about this movie struck me and stayed in my mind for until today. So for those of you who have seen, maybe you can recall, what did Cinderella's mother tell her before she passed away? She gave her 4 words. The 4 words were, do you know what it is? Be kind, have courage. So I remember Cinderella, throughout the whole movie, she faithfully accepted and used these 4 words, in her everyday dealing. She applied it in every situation. She was very kind to people. She was very kind to especially small animals. And above all, she was very kind to even people who mistreated her. And of course, with that mindset and that constant practice, it is not surprising that in the end, okay, these are the people that mistreated her, right? Stepmother and stepsisters. In the end, Cinderella had her happily ever after, her happy ending. Now, these 4 words actually resonated with me until today, not because of Cinderella, but because they are exactly what my mother had taught us through her actions throughout her life. So today, I'm really grateful to be able to share this little story about my late mother, Madam Tan Yok Moy, who through her actions, not just given me, I think, an infinite number of people, one of life's greatest lessons. And I'm also very happy that today my dad is here to share this moment with us. Okay, a little bit about my mom. My mom grew up in post-World War II, and after completing her lower certification education, she went on to train as a midwife. Of course, after that, she went to serve in a few hospitals. But I remember very clearly her favorite stints were the times that she said she went to serve in the small villages, or what we call here kampongs, far away from cities, far away from medical facilities. So she would tell me many stories of how they go into these kampongs, usually very forested, sometimes even in the middle of the night, you know, to deliver babies, and how they saved babies and mothers in a very odd and very life-threatening situation without proper amenities. So growing up, my mom was also very well known in our little town because she would extend her midwife duties beyond the hospital walls. Meaning, if there's somebody in our town, you know, a new mother, and then they have problem to feed, nurse the babies or to bathe the babies, you know, they will send somebody to my home. That time we didn't have a phone, yeah. Then they will call my mom, please, they will call her Missy Tan, please come and help us. Then my mom, if she was at home, she would drop everything, take a change of clothes, and she would just follow them to help out. So that's why as I was little, this is how I grew up. I think these are the images that I have of my mom. Okay, here is a very sweet picture of my mother and my father. My dad is actually a primary school teacher. And to me, both my parents are just very simple people who are devoted to each other, to their family, and also to their noble profession. This is a family picture, the last family picture we took with my mom. I have 3 brothers. To us, my mom will always be our role model who left a very big pair of shoes for us to fill in. Why do I say that? It's because whether it's at home or in the masses, meaning at work or with people, yeah, my mom has always displayed these traits. First that comes to mind is always service above self. She has always put serving the needs of others above her own interest. Even when she was unwell, she would just dress up and go. That's how she operated. And throughout my life, I never heard my mom complain about her life, about her job, about food or anything. She has never complained about anything, not even once. And of course, one thing is that she has always used her time to the fullest. She was never the type to go around the neighborhood gossiping with neighbors. Never, you know, even though that was one of the favorite pastimes of housewives then, yeah. Of course, she wasn't a housewife, and she had hardly ever sat down to watch a TV show with us or involved in any form of indulgence. Never. Whenever she had time, she would rest or she would read. She loves to read. She read newspapers, read articles, and she would then share with us what she read. And to her, responsibilities always came first in every role, every single role that she played. As a mother, as a wife, as a grandmother, as an employee. She troubled no one, but always facilitated others. And last but not least, to me, my mom was always the bravest person I know. She was not afraid of anything. Creepy crawlies, blood, or anything, even ghosts, she tell me she's not afraid. But there's only one thing she is afraid of, she said. The scariest thing, she said, is a black-hearted person. And I think I agree with her. So to me, that's why I say to me, she's always remind me of this: be kind and have courage. In 2008, we have the good affinity to bring my mom and also my mother-in-law. Here, this is my mom, yeah, and this is my mother-in-law, whom I also truly adore and respect. Yeah, both of them have passed on. We really had a wonderful affinity to visit Hualien to see Master, and my mom was very excited about the world of Tzu Chi at that time because she liked to do recycling and all that. But she did not become a disciple of Master that time yet. But little did we know, when we were visiting the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, she had silently made a vow. And you know what vow she made? Yeah, during our hospital tour, she had seen the Silent Mentor program. And I think something about the program, the principles of the program, struck her, resonated with her deeply because of her experience, I believe, as a medical caregiver. But We did not know of this silent vow that she had until in 2012, when the Silent Mentor program came to Malaysia. She read it in the newspaper and she was so excited. She cut it out the newspaper and she came to us and said, hey, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to be. This is what I've been waiting for. So, but as far as you know, to sign up for the Silent Mentor program, you have to have a consent from your family members. And in this area, my mother faced a number of obstacles. With due respect, yeah, first obstacle was actually objection from my dad. My dad, I believe, because my dad is quite a traditionalist, but mostly I believe it's due to his deep love for my mother. He was unwilling to subject her body to something like this. And secondly, the second objection actually came from my eldest brother. Being the filial son that he is still, yeah, he was much more concerned about how he was going to perform his filial rites as a son, and there was no body for a proper funeral or a burial. And thirdly, my mom faced objection from her own temple leaders who felt that she shouldn't do it because they believe in leaving the deceased body untouched for 8 hours and chanting for its departed soul to reach Pure Land. So for all these three parties, my mom, she was very wise. She had the wisdom to seek the help of my Sixiong to explain to them. And finally, he managed to convince all the three parties until they gave in. But there was one obstacle that she had to face herself. It was the obstruction from her own physical condition. My mom had been in poor health since 2012. And later on, she actually had experienced tightening of her air and food pipes, the tubes, causing her difficulties in breathing and eating. So when it got more serious, doctors have actually said, Auntie, the only way you can live, continue living, is to perform a tracheostomy. But she would jokingly brush the doctors off. I heard her saying that myself. She said, Doctor, I'm not old enough. I'll do it when I'm 80. And this is what a tracheostomy is, yeah. It's basically a surgical procedure that create an opening in the throat, yeah, and then insert a tube, as you can see in this picture, into the breathing tube, yeah, to allow the person to breathe without using nose or mouth. Now, we didn't really know the real reason why my mother refused this procedure until we saw this statement during the Silent Mentor home visit. This is her last wish. She said, my last wish is doing a good deed by preserving and donating my body as perfect as possible for medical research. That's my mom always. She never said too much, but she let her actions speak louder. In 2015, I remember my mother's condition started to worsen. She needed to use an oxygen machine when sleeping, and eating became much more difficult for her. This on top of many other medical conditions, with many hospital visits, hospital stays, she took it all in with great stride and even gratitude. And after her passing, I remember my dad would say that never once did she ever complain about her sickness and pain. In fact, my dad used to say she never even sighed. And I remember in her pain, usually when I would massage her and all that, she would say, my body suffers due to what I did in the past, and I willingly accept all my karmic retributions. What she was referring to was the karma of slaughtering chickens, ducks, fishes, and some other animals that my dad used to get back from his hunting trips before my mom became a Buddhist, of course, practicing Buddhist. Her spirit in facing suffering of sickness and old age is one of the most courageous, and remind me of this Jingsu aphorism that Master always say, 甘愿做欢喜受. Really, she has taught me this. She never complained about anything, and she bear all these karmic retributions according to her willingly. And because Master also said, if you bear willingly, you get discount. If you complain, you get interest. Yeah. So I am just very amazed that at all times, even in her suffering, there's one thing that's very clear. Her mind was always tranquil, at peace, and very clear. Always. Very, very clear. And this, I believe, comes from her years of cultivation. My mom has started joining a Buddhist temple and doing chanting ever since 1984. This is her favorite spot in the house, her favorite place to be. And I believe I can vouch for that every single thought inside her is always Buddha, 念念都是佛. And her deep faith in the Buddha was so strong that at times when our families face great obstacles in our lives, we can see how this deep faith carried us safely to the other shore. And recalling the chapter of Never Slighting Bodhisattva, I could see the similarities between my mother and Never Slighting Bodhisattva's cultivation process. First is she endured what needed to be endured until there was no need to endure. She really didn't look like she endured her pain because she wasn't even focused on it. She still can make people make jokes and enjoy her day. And she always faced it with such a purity of mind, at ease and at peace. And because of that, yeah, I think it's because she has non-attachment. She has no attachment to herself, her body, her sickness, her pain, or whatsoever. That's why she's at ease and at peace. Because she believed in one thing, yeah, she believed that she was clearing her karmic debts, accumulated from all these lifetimes. And now, when she had accumulated all these practices with so much grace, causes and conditions converge, and I say that she'll transform to the next level and she become a teacher to doctors. Here, her vows had come true, but it was just beginning of a wondrous and inconceivable Dharma that Master taught us. 2 months before her passing, my mom, who had earlier always said she wants to return in the next life to become a midwife again, to serve the underprivileged mothers. One day she told me, I think I want to become a doctor in the next life, not midwife, because she said doctors can save more people. So I remember telling her, of course you can, Mom. Wow, you want to upgrade yourself. Great. I'm sure you can because you will be teachers to the doctors. Yeah. And this is 20th June 2015. This is her 73rd birthday. She was actually very feeble in her health already, but she was in good spirits. However, we didn't expect that shortly after that, she would leave us. This is a very brief timeline about what happened after her birthday. That weekend, we celebrated her birthday. On Monday, I sent her home to her hometown. On Tuesday, when I called my dad said she had stopped eating. She didn't really talk much. She would just lie down in bed with her chanting beads and chanting. Then on Wednesday, my dad said she had asked him to give her a hot bath and scrub her body really clean. My dad didn't understand why, but he did it nonetheless. And on Thursday, I felt the need to go back to see her, to be with her. So I rushed back. And when I reached home, I remember seeing her lie down on the bed in her room with the chanting beads in her hands. I quickly went up to her, went beside her and kissed her forehead. And she just patted me, lifted her hand and patted me on my left chest. She wasn't talking, her eyes were still closed, as if just to assure me that everything is going to be okay. That's my mama, always comforting people. So I quickly put myself together and I say, okay, let's chant together. So I chant the Heart Sutra for her. But at that time, my eldest brother had already called for an ambulance to take her to the hospital in case of any emergency. And when the ambulance staff carried her onto the stretcher, suddenly my mother opened her eyes. She held my hand and she looked like she was mastering her strength. And she pointed to her throat and she said these words, "No operation." I said, "Okay, I promise you no operation." And those were the last words that she said to me. My mom died peacefully at the hospital that afternoon with all of us surrounding her. And within a few hours, her body was packed and sent to the University Malaysia Medical Center. And from then on, many wondrous things start to unfold. At her wake, friends and relatives wondered why there was no body. So we had to explain to them about my mother's wish becoming a silent mentor. As we did, many of them were very touched. And many of them said, "Oh my, your mom was so helpful when she was alive. She's even helpful when she's dead. She's just so helpful always." We sense that they begin to understood that a person's value in life is found in giving of the self. And through the Silent Mentor program, one can even do so in death, leaving a lasting legacy of service to humanity. And that night, it was really an amazing atmosphere when the atmosphere actually turned from sadness into almost a celebration of my mother's life. And in the midst of all that, I suddenly just sensed Master's deep wisdom, very deep wisdom in creating so many skillful means, so many Dharma doors for sentient beings to make great vows, purify minds, and enter the Bodhisattva path. In hindsight, I can see the principles of infinite meanings that Master had always taught us. When we have great vows, infinite Dharma doors will appear to us and bring us back to the one true Dharma, which is our true original nature. And when that happens, the most inconceivable things will take place. 3 months before my mother's passing, within 3 months of my mother's passing, less than 3 months, my mother was scheduled to be the silent mentor for a suitable workshop. It was quite unusual because most cadavers would wait up to about a year. Then a few days before the workshop, the panel of doctors decided that since the cadaver was suitable, an extra emergency procedure will be included in the workshop. And can you all guess what was the procedure that they decided to include? It was none other than this, an emergency tracheostomy. Professor Chin, the program director, said, "This is the inconceivable power of vows. What a wonderful bonus it was for the students." We wonder, had my mom, due to her vows, had she known this? Why has she been so insistent on not having a tracheostomy done, even though doctors said she needed it to stay alive? I can only say one thing. My courageous mom had become fearless due to her great vows. As in the verse in chapter 3 of the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, one of the inconceivable merits is that you receive is, although they have afflictions, they will carry on as if they had no afflictions. As they face life and death, they have no thoughts of fear. As they face all sentient beings, they give rise to sympathy and compassion. And as they face all phenomena, they give rise to courage and fortitude. I believe my mom had gained this inconceivable merit, just as Master said, with deep root of faith, unshakable belief, even in just one teaching, we would have no fear. We would have peace of mind. We would be at ease in the face of any adversities. And we will be able to enter the path of the Bodhisattvas and guide others onto this path as well. I remember very clearly during the workshop memorial service, pre-workshop memorial service for the silent mentors, Professor Chin, the program director, ran up to me excitedly and said, "Stephanie, I must tell you something." And I said, "What is it, Professor?" She said, "Your mom's body is soft. It's not hard. I didn't really realize what he was saying at that moment. So I asked him, I don't understand what you mean, doctor. And he smilingly said to me, you know what that means? It's a sign of a person who has fully let go. No fear facing death. I'm not sure how true it is, but I believed him. And I believe my mom had let go even before she died. Among the list of things that she reminded us to carry out after her cremation was to scatter my ashes to the sea so I can float to every corner of the world. There is no need to commemorate me with any memorial place. I will just go wherever I'm needed. Until today, we don't have anything physical to remember her by. And my dad always think about her, and I always tell my dad, she is gone and come back. And we're really indeed very honored to fulfill her last wishes. And I always pray I would meet this great being again. Silent mentors are asked in the application form what for words that they would like to advise to the future doctors. And this is what my mom wrote, just 10 words. 依着父母心，感恩与祝福. Simply translated is, doctors, treat patients with heart of parents, gratitude and blessings. Here is a heartfelt sharing by one of the students, Lo Shui Fen. I just underlined the important points. She said, thank you to my mom. Your story has guided, inspired, and impacted us tremendously. You have not only taught me through medical knowledge and skills, but also on the many life values that I have not foreseen before this. You have imprinted a priceless value in our heart that will shape us to a better tomorrow. And I hope the heavens will open up to reveal the strength and comfort you. I'm sure my mom is very proud of this student. And finally, I would like to just end with this Jing aphorism that started to resonate with me very deeply this year. 生命只有使用权，没有所有权. We do not have claim on our life, but only the right to use it. I'm really infinitely grateful to Master and all the Pusa for demonstrating this profound truth of this particular Jing aphorism. And this is also the precious lesson that my late mother has given to me, our family, and possibly, I hope, to an infinite number of people who had affinity with her. And with that, I would like to say my utmost kangen to Master, to all the masters at the abode, to all our brothers and sisters in the Dharma, to Tzu Chi for truly leading, guiding all sentient beings, we hope, on the path of the Bodhisattva. Master has said, even if it's just one word or just one sentence, if we have faith in it, we can live out our vows and transform not just ourselves and others. Kangen.
非常感恩那个师姐的分享，真的非常的感动，而且妈妈也非常伟大，那也非常的有智慧，能够了解世间上因缘果报的道理，知道说过去所造的业，我们今生欢喜的接受。那上人也说，欢喜还打8折，不欢喜还还要加利息。那真的妈妈真的是非常的有智慧，知道说这样子是那个。 不过我们是随缘消旧业，那妈妈也知道，就是消了这个旧业之后，然后更伟大的是能够再发这个大心，发这个大愿，能够捐赠这个大体，来就是帮助这一些医学生，能够让他们在医学上得到一个更大的一个进步，然后同时能够造福这一些病苦的人。 我相信妈妈已经成愿再来了然后也是一个小菩萨了。我们用欢喜的心来祝福她 那也感恩师姐您今天的分享，还有爸爸。哦，爸爸有来现场，哦，爸爸真的也非常感恩您的一个成就。那我相信这样子大家的一个共同的一个善念的一个成就，能够利益更多苦难的众生。那我们在此祝福大家都能够福慧增长，然后大家都能够身体健康、平安吉祥。感恩您的分享。啊，爸爸如果有空可以欢迎回来金色哦，金色是我们的家哈，非常欢迎啊。
爸爸来了。
师父跟你讲，欢迎你回去，
可以多讲。
欢迎你回去花莲金色。
回来花莲，对，上人跟我们都期待你回来，这是我们的家，那真的是非常感恩哦，嘿，真的，太太真的是非常的伟大，我们真的是听了真的非常的感动，那我觉得是我们年轻一辈所需要学习的这一份的精神，然后除了这样子一个就是慈爱的父母对待子女这样子，然后同时也能够把家庭照顾好，然后在他生病的期间又能够不想去造成别人的一个烦恼，然后自己都这样子的忍受下来，真的是这样的精神就是菩萨的精神，真的但愿众生得离苦，不为自己求安乐，这种的精神真的非常值得我们的敬佩跟学习，也是我们的典范，非常感恩。
谢谢。
是你直接讲就可以。
感恩师父啊。
感恩您，感恩。你听得懂中文吗？
听得懂，爸爸听懂。
听中文没有问题。
好，很好。所以看到妈妈发挥无用为大用哈，真的是以爱人间呐哈，然后可以让更多的医学生也可以这样子进步哈，医学的方面更好哦。然后你本身呢要多出来跟人家互动。多在慈济走走，好不好？然后可以去做环保我们手要动，我们身体要动，然后我们的跟人家互动，我们才会越来越进步，越来越好欢迎你回来金色哦，感恩你。
好，谢谢。有机会的话我一定去。
好，
我们请安排。
我们一定会带他回去。我们一定会带他回去花莲金色。
家人一起回来哦，
感恩师父的祝福，感恩。
I will pass it to Sister Celsic as the time is already over past 8 o'clock. Thank you.
感恩 so many 感恩 story. First and foremost, 感恩 to 黄师父、杰师父 and 袁师父 for the wisdom guidance. 感恩 Sister Stephanie, we are very grateful that sisters has shared these really touching stories. The first time we heard it was during the 四合一. We were staying together. Then the sister shared that moment. We know that this story cannot only be heard by us. It must be shared by more people. In fact, Sister Stephanie not only has this her mother's story, hearing her grandmother's story, her mother-in-law story, her cycle is really surrounded. Her life is really surrounded by all the great selfless Buddha. So we hope that we'll have opportunity to hear more in future. God, brothers and sisters, for your presence. I think I'm sure many also cried. It's really touching. Hope that each of us could sustain the Dharma joy and take in Mas Hualien love to our life. Sorry to be very touching. Okay, very grateful today. Let us please make 3 bows to the Buddha and Dharma Master as we depart to apply these teachings in our daily life. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life, universal truth. Arms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Sifu for giving us lots of guidance today. 感恩师父，感恩 everyone. See everyone next Saturday. 感恩 Indeed, the mother is the eyes and feet of our body. 感恩师父。